We're going to Boulder. We did get it's news, but it's nothing great about the quarterback situation. Deion Sanders says he knows who the quarterback is going to be, but won't tell us. He wants leadership and he wants consistency. And we go, well, who of the three is a leader and who of the three has been consistent? I think the answer is nobody. There's been no consistency at the quarterback spot. So what does that mean moving forward? You and I have both come to the conclusion that it should be Julian Lewis. It needs to be Julian Lewis. But Deion, I guess, is going to keep that real close to the vest.
Does Deion think they can make a run? Does Deion think that they can win? I'll just put the number at 6. Does he think they can be bowl eligible? I mean, perhaps, but he's not saying that. He's mainly like striking down what the media says and talking about bull junk and not just... Listen, you're not surprising Wyoming by, hey, it's Caden Salter this week, guys. Hey, it's Julian Lewis this week, guys. By the way, you're also not sending the message to Wyoming necessarily that you're giving up on the season. It's not like you're giving them an open doorway. Wyoming's going to take that door. They're Wyoming. They're playing you. They're going to want to play their best football, and they've got a defense. You don't. You also have an offense that struggles because you don't run the ball enough, and you don't set up your quarterbacks the right way. You've got some weapons at the wide receiver position. You've got 3 running backs. And by the way, Michael Welch is now number 3, in my opinion, in that pecking order. Simeon Price first, DeKalen Taylor second, and then Michael Welch is like a cleanup, third guy in case Price needs a breather or something like that. So if you're the Buffaloes, you've got the offensive talent. You don't have the right coach. Your quarterback is inconsistent. But if you just ran the ball, if you had an identity... Boy, wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be awesome if Deion had a plan? That's the last 2 weeks, essentially, because I'll take the Georgia Tech game out of it, right? But the last 2 weeks, I've watched the Buffaloes, and I've gone, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Deion doesn't have a plan. Deion doesn't know what he's doing. Deion does not have a plan for the Buffaloes, and that's terrifying.
It is absolutely terrifying. And again, what went on all offseason? What went on during their OTAs, during their early moments of training camp?
Right.
Because you're going all in on Caden Salter, and then you gave the guy, a couple of handfuls of opportunities to actually take that job and run with it. That's the biggest fear here, is that there is not a plan, and they're just flying by the seat of their pants, and Deion's making a different decision daily that affects the rest of the team. That is absolutely terrifying with this football team.
Yeah, it's terrifying to not know what you can do best and who you are. Who are you, CU? Who are you? We know what you were with Shedeur and Travis. What are you right now? What was the plan for you to be? And what is your identity?
I don't care what kind of car we pull up in. Long as we pull out of here with a W, I'm good. So I don't really get into the identity thing, not whatsoever. I would like to do some things better. We like to stop the run. We like to run the ball. We like to be consistent offensively and defensively. We'd love to do those things better, but I can't be narrowed down with, what's your identity? What does that mean?
Oh, my God.
What does that mean, what's your identity? I don't even know what that means. What you known for? Excuse you? What you known for? What you do best? What you hang your hat on? I don't think we can hang our hat out. Like Ohio State won the national championship, right? What did they hang their hat on? Running the football.
Defense.
But they had two runners. You can't hang your hat on 2 running backs. That's not nothing to hang your hat on. It's got to be everybody got 2 running backs.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Okay, so if he doesn't believe that, I don't need to hear anymore. Is there any more? I don't need to hear anymore.
Done.
Here's the thing. Tell Deion to roll up in a Dodge Neon, right? Hey, you don't care what you roll up in, right? Okay. What's your identity? What's Deion's identity? Just as a person, as a man, as a human. His identity is he's got the sunglasses and he's got the cowboy hat. He's got the Maybach. He's got the F650 or whatever.
Smooth talker, all that stuff.
I want an F650 so bad. But anyway, so now tell him to roll up in a Dodge Neon. It doesn't matter, right? Deion, it doesn't matter. He doesn't care for it. I don't care what we roll up in, just as long as we roll out with a W. Okay, drive a Dodge Neon.
Dude, in the last 2 weeks, Deion Sanders has said, what is a solidified quarterback? And does Ohio State have an identity? That's come out of the mouth of the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. If my little sister said that, I'd go, hey, Josie, go ahead and leave the conversation. This isn't for you. If my little sister said that. How, again, you win, you get a pass on dumb stuff. You lose, you get embarrassed, you continue to put yourself in bad situations, you do not get a pass on dumb stuff. In fact, it goes under a microscope, and we examine it even further. I can't believe I just heard that come out of the mouth of the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. That identity is not important. This thing is over, dude. I think it's over. How do you get out of this? A man that won't admit mistakes, a man that won't just be human and tell us I screwed up and I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to be better.
Right.
And then credit to whoever that reporter was that was going back and said, well, they're known for running the football.
I really like that the reporter answered that. Like, hey,
good on
what
them.
are you known for?
Like, those moments I think will make Deion has so much control up there because nobody will push back. No one will question. And I think if there's more of that, that'll make Deion think before he speaks. Because Deion can just rattle off of the mouth. And he was having some success, and there was a lot of good coverage for him.
Sure,
and
right.
That's what he got accustomed to. There's no pushback. And in fact, I know you've seen it. And when I'm not even negative. When I'm critical of Deion Sanders, I get it all in my timeline of hater, blah, blah, the stuff.
You just hate Deion.
Right. There's all of that stuff. But man, how can you hear that? Again, 2 consecutive press conferences. He asked what a solidified quarterback was, and then suggested that the Ohio State Buckeyes do not have an identity as a football team. How freaking clueless is this guy? How out of touch with reality is Deion Sanders? He of course lives in this little Sanders bubble where everything's great and everything's cool and there's no bull junk around there because your kids are successful and you're making $10 million a year. To not understand what your job is? Dude, that might have been it for me. That might have been the shine I said was wearing off. I think it's gone. He doesn't understand college football, and he's the coach of the Colorado Buffaloes.
And he's well paid.
What are we doing? What is he doing? Again,
cashing checks.
Rick George can't say anything because Deion's his legacy. But if I'm Deion Sanders' boss and I now go through 2 straight weeks with that stuff coming out of his mouth, I'm setting up a meeting and we're having a conversation. That's a bad look for Deion. That's a bad look for the Buffaloes. And the same thing, if I'm Julian Lewis, I keep hearing nonsense come out of my head coach's mouth while I'm not playing and we're not winning. I'm making some phone calls, man. I'm seeing who else is interested if I'm Julian Lewis right now.
Or you're around Julian Lewis, because I'm sure his family would do the same thing, right? Wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you? You have a very talented cousin, very talented son, very talented brother, and he's not playing, and the coach is talking like that, you're going to be making calls. You're going to be shopping around.
That was bad, dude.
I asked you earlier, seriously, about Deion's plan. And I asked, does he feel like anything's wrong? That answer tells me he doesn't feel, hey, we could run the ball a little bit more. We'd like to stop the run. We'd like to do that. Identity, what's that? You know what it is, Deion. I would, and I thought the reporter did a great job. Great job. Now,
agreed.
Most of the time we don't get that with Deion, but whoever that was did a great job. The other thing I would, in sitting down with Deion, is I would say, well, Prime, what was your identity? You know what I mean? When you were on the football field, what was prime time? Wasn't prime time an identity? Well, this isn't prime time. This is fishing tournaments on TV on the weekend at midnight. That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
This is Major League Fishing. We're watching that right now, except it's not midnight on Saturday, and we're too wasted to go to bed, right?
Yeah.
We're not watching prime time. So prime was an identity. What's the identity of the Buffaloes now? A joke? A laughingstock?
His last 2 press conferences have been exactly that, a joke.
Well, and if he wants attention, and it's more than just the attention. It's about getting the way. Bring anybody. Bring Ice Cube to practice like he did today. And I love Cube, but unless you're winning, what does that matter? What is this show and tell for the college kids?
And you know what?
Hey, guys, I know Lil Wayne. Awesome.
If he were a legitimate head coach, he'd go, y'all haven't earned hanging out with Ice Cube?
Right.
I had Ice Cube scheduled to come here. You embarrassed me. He's now no longer coming. Actually, he's at my crib. We're hanging out later on. And you'll see it on Instagram.
Ice Cube's up in Laramie.
Yeah.
Because you guys got beat by the Cowboys. Like, seriously. It's not show and tell, and that can only go so far.
This is also like, if Deion Sanders wants to be paid in attention and get to go up and say his fancy sayings and the things that he's practiced in the mirror 900 times, go back on TV. You could do that all day on TV, and everybody would eat it up. We'd all love it. Look at Deion having fun and saying funny, sayings and all that
Would he
stuff.
be this well paid, though? He's
I
making a
probably
whole lot of money from Colorado.
So Colorado pays the tab for him to make us look bad?
Yeah.
I'm not down with that. Not down with that, man. I cannot believe what we just heard out of Deion Sanders. That's
I don't know if he can get you back. That's the main thing.
Win, and
he'll get you back.
Yeah. But you know what he's not going to do? He's not going to win. At least
win against Wyoming or win?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You should go Saturday. I bet you have a good time. You don't need to wear Wyoming gear. Just go.
I'm sure I'd find a way to have a good time. Kelsey's never been to Folsom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
she's got to go. Yeah, for sure.
Get her up to Folsom. All right. Well, Deion Sanders making us upset here on a Tuesday. Let's